Okay, 10 seasons. That is a pretty impressive run for any show, but especially cool when it's a show in Portland. 1 week from today, the live storytelling show Fence PDX will kick off its 10th season. So we wanted to find out some of their favorite stories from over the years and what the show will be like next week, so everybody hopefully watching can go get their tickets right away. So we had the hosts here tonight, Frayne Masters, and Mindy, how do you say your last name? I forgot to ask you beforehand.
Mindy Nettifee.
Nettifee, I like that. You guys have fun names.
Hey,
Thank you.
That just like starts the show off in a fun way, right? Do you guys like hosting together?
Oh yeah.
It's the best.
It's the best.
It's super fun.
It's hard to find people to host with that you just have a lot of chemistry with, and we just have a natural chemistry together. So it's a blast.
She's crazy. She's crazy. My job is easy, you know? I get to respond to her on stage. Yeah.
And Frayne, so 10 years, 2008, you started this whole thing.
Right.
Where did it come from?
A dream. No, not a dream.
A vision.
I wanted to do, I'd been in Portland for a little while, I'd moved here, and I just felt like I wanted to start something. And so I went to a storytelling show in San Francisco, a big one. Like The Moth. The Moth wasn't known yet on the West Coast, really. Porchlight is a series I saw down there, and it's as big as The Moth down there. And I saw it, and I was like, this is perfect. This needs to happen in Portland.
Yeah.
And then 6 months later was the first show, so it was crazy.
That's impressive.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Have a lot of things changed about the show over the years? Of course, you got Mindy a few years into it.
Yep,
True.
Of course I got Mindy. Yeah, I mean, Portland has changed, the show has changed as Portland has changed. It started out in a crepe shop with 50 people.
Yeah.
And then it moved to Mission Theater quickly after that. And then for a brief time, we were at Hollywood Theater. Last few seasons were at Alberta Rose, and now we're at Aladdin. And then 5 years ago, that's our main stage show. And then 5 years ago, we added Russian Roulette, which is
a storytelling show / game show.
Yeah.
It involves a big wheel and some high stakes.
Yeah, the storytellers get a prompt. They don't know the prompt ahead of time. And then they have 5 minutes to come up with a true 5-minute story and tell it.
What?
Yeah.
So it has to be a true story.
Yep.
But
That's
you don't
right.
know the prompt. Is anyone ever like, I have nothing? I mean, like, give me an idea of a prompt.
Worst job.
Worst job.
Okay.
The intersection of love and sex.
Okay.
Road trip.
I would have no idea.
The look on your face.
Mistakes were made.
Yes.
You know?
It happened late at night.
I've only seen, in all my time at the Russian Roulette show, which is going into its 5th year now,
Right.
I've really only seen a storyteller kind of blank out and melt down twice backstage.
Oh, the meltdown.
Backstage.
Yeah.
But then they come out on stage and kill it.
That's right.
Okay.
That extra little bit of adrenaline, you know, turns these people who are already, you know, great storytellers on stage.
Right, because they're all seasoned storytellers, by the way. We don't bring in people who've never told a story before. They've all been on stage.
That's
and told
key.
stories. So
That's right.
You would not put me into Russian Roulette.
Yeah.
That
It's not a
would
special kind of
not
yes.
go well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so to kick off the 10th season next week on the 31st, that is what you're doing, is the Russian Roulette show,
That
right?
is correct.
That's
yeah,
right.
At Curious Comedy Theater.
And then we will have our next main stage show in March.
And something that changed about the show starting last year is that 10% of all of our main stage shows goes to a different nonprofit. So the next show will be Donate for Life, which is all your transplant organ
That's so
items
awesome.
moved from one body to another.
Yeah, all your organ needs.
So all your organ needs are
Yeah.
met through Donate for Life Northwest. So
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So with 10 years of doing the show, what's the craziest story that anybody's ever told?
Craziest
the
story.
Craziest story.
Caitlin Weyerhaeuser
Yes, yes,
did
good one.
once tell a story at Russian Roulette about, and this is actually being raised by wolves.
Yes.
That's got to be the craziest one I've ever heard.
What?
She lived with her dad. She moved in with her dad, and they lived out in the woods. And and her dad would leave for work, and the kids would be home, and there'd be wolves around, and the wolves
Yeah.
kind of tended to them.
What?
True story. True
This
story.
does not sound real.
It is real, though.
Yeah.
My
It's
goodness.
real.
There's another great story from Eric Snyder, who told a surprisingly tender, amazing story about ending up a divorced virgin. And, you know, what happens next.
After 10 years of marriage, a divorced virgin. Just let that sink in for one moment.
Yeah.
That's the intersection of love and no sex.
You could spend
FYI.
5 minutes just thinking about that one.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then a story that was told last year, this woman, we have a place where people can write in and pitch their stories, and this woman wrote to us, Sarah Swenson, and she had contracted meningitis, and what that did is it gave her amnesia.
That's right.
And she lost 5 years of her life. She can't remember, like she will never remember those 5 years of her life. So she had a baby, and so like when she came back to, like now her kids are like 5 years older than she thought they were. Her house had been remodeled. She had a closet full of clothes she'd never seen before.
Yeah, she felt like she was in another woman's life.
She was, yeah, and she read through all of her work emails to see what she had been writing. And she realized that she had been doing really well at work and she had gotten a promotion and all these things. She had to read her emails to figure this out. And she also discovered something very interesting, which she talked about, which is that people thought of her as being a more relaxed person now.
Wow.
Than they used to think of her. They think of her a little bit differently.
So many crazy things you can learn at Fence PDX. Thank you guys. Congratulations. You can see Mindy and Frayne host the beginning of the 10th season next Wednesday night at Curious Comedy.
Yeah.
We're back. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.